Hey guys, my name is Matimio, and sniping in Planetside 2 is so satisfying. I've recently come back to this game. I made a video last week where I talked about how over the last couple of months, they've really done a lot to improve upon the game. And even back then, I enjoyed playing as this class. I found using the bolt-action rifles to be extremely satisfying, and that is still true today. But I kind of had a hard time transitioning on over from Battlefield over into Planetside, because while bolt-action rifles should be very similar, there are some key things that was kind of tripping me a little bit, and one of them is that there really isn't a whole lot of bullet drop in Planetside 2. I'm playing as Van New, and while if I remember right, the normal laser weapons don't have any bullet drop at all. Because this is a bolt-action rifle, it has a little bit of it. But it's nowhere near as large as it is in Battlefield 3, and in Battlefield, what I do when I use, and I'm playing as a sniper, is that I aim a little bit above their head, like just the tip of their head, and so if I'm playing within a medium to long range distance, as long as I aim at that location, I usually get a guaranteed headshot. And I attempt to use that same strategy in Planetside 2, and I couldn't get any kills. I was like, what am I doing wrong? I'm assuming there's at least some bullet drop here. And so for 20 minutes, I just kind of ran around frustrated, not getting any kills, not even hit markers. I was just like, what am I doing? And then I finally came to the realization that at least if you're within medium to long range, you just have to aim directly at their dome, like at their forehead, and then you will get the kill. It's a little embarrassing that it did take me that long to figure things out, but when I did, I was a lot more successful. One thing that I really appreciate in Planetside 2 is that when you play as an infiltrator and you play as a sniper, you feel like a sniper. Like flanking and getting into key locations is really important when you play as this class, and if you get into the right spot and you do take the time to flank your enemy and you do take the time to get into that sniper perch, you're really rewarded for that. And since Planetside 2, there are a lot of elevation changes, but a vast majority of it is wide open spaces, and so when you get into those spots, you just have a great line of sight on the enemy, and you can take out multiple targets before they can even figure out you're there, which is, of course, a lot of fun. And so right here is a great example where I am trying to get around to the backside of an enemy's sunder, and then I come across like this little squad down below, and before they realize I'm there, I take out their engineer that's repairing their max. I then switch on over to the medic, trying to make sure that he can't get any more revives off, and then I slowly whittle down their entire squad, and then eventually go for the max at the very end. And I can't tell you how intense my heart was pounding. Like, it was such an exhilaration having that conflict, and I felt like such a badass because I used the class's abilities to my advantage. I flanked as good as I could, and then I proceeded to somehow manage, I don't know how exactly I did this, but basically nailed every single one of my shots, just nailing headshots left and right, and, decimated that little squad there. So that was awesome. One thing I did learn as well, though, is that moving targets are kind of challenging to nail. Like in Battlefield 3, it's not easy to hit a moving target when you're using a bolt-action rifle, but it's not impossible. But there's something about it in Planetside 2, and I know that I just had that kill streak where people were running around and they were moving a lot, but I was still nailing headshots. But if they're off in the distance, there's something about the bullet speed, and I looked and saw the stats. The velocity of these bullets are similar to Battlefield's bullet velocities, and I think what it really just comes down to is that the maps or the continent is a lot larger, and so what appears to be like a normal shot that seems accessible in Planetside 2 is actually just so far out there that because the maps are larger, that it just takes forever for the bullet to get there, and trying to line up a moving target is just not easy. Maybe it's simply because I haven't given enough time right now, but I was really struggling at trying to take anyone out that was moving. And so eventually what I just started to do was only go for people that were stationary, and there is plenty of them. Basically anyone that is trying to shoot at an ally, they usually stop, or if they switch on over to their rocket launcher, if they are a heavy assault player and they're trying to take out a tank, those were easy pickings. And as long as I kind of picked and chose my targets, my success rate, and my kill ratio, it just exploded after that. Another thing I love about the infiltrator is their ability to cloak and to take advantage of that ability as much as possible. Like I said before, your ability to flank and to flank effectively is a key aspect of this class, and the cloaking aspect of it makes it so much easier. And not only just to get behind enemy lines, but also when you're in firefights with someone, if you're not successful in getting that first headshot off and they realize you're there and start to take some pot shots at you, you can use the cloaking device to kind of switch up your location without them realizing it, get behind some other cover, peek out, and now they're looking in the completely wrong direction. You pop out from your little hiding spot, nail them in the face, and when you're able to pull off those maneuvers, you just feel like a badass because you completely outplayed your enemies, and it's one of the great things about the cloaking device. So if you can't tell already, I am having an absolute blast playing the Infiltrator class in Planetside 2. The gameplay is extremely rewarding. I love the bolt action rifle. And while it takes a while to get used to it, especially if you come from other first-person shooters out there, once you do, you just start destroying everyone on the battlefield. And what could be more fun than that? But that is about it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the Planetside 2 gameplay, kind of mixing it up from my normal Battlefield stuff. But until tomorrow, guys, have a good one and take it easy.